Hi there, thanks for tuning in to this tutorial. I'm going to show you how to use the Pages module in Squareflo CMS. So the Pages module allows you to create static pages. So for anything that does not fit into your other modules, so for example, with the Flowprint website, we've got a blog module, we've got a photos module, services, testimonials, etc. If there's any content that doesn't fit into these modules, then we use the Pages module. So you also, this brings me to an important point. You also don't want to end up using the Pages module a lot. So if you find that you've got tons of pages, maybe just give me a shout. You can always contact me by email, yaku@squareflo.com, or through the Squareflo contact form. Because if you do have a lot of pages, it maybe means that there's a module that we have available that you're not using or that you're not using correctly, because you really shouldn't have a lot of pages once your website is done. We have many modules set up for almost any type of scenario or any type of content, and it is just way easier to manage your content with a feed-based module like this. However, pages are used, and if we click on the Pages module here, for Flowprint, you'll see we've got a few pages. We've got a page called Terms of Service. There's a page called Before You Order. There's even a page called Footer Text, and I'll just explain what that is. So this website, like many of the websites that we build, has a footer area with a bit of text in there. And so basically what we have, since we don't have a module to manage your footer, we just import one of your pages into the footer. And so if you edit that page called footer text, then it will change this text on every page. So that's why there's a page called footer text, and something that you might actually see if you have a website built by us. There's also a page for About Us. So that's a really good example of a static page, like an About Us page. It doesn't really change very often. It's just you create it and that's that. But let's create a new page. So click on the Add button, and the first thing you want to do is give the page a tab title. So this is what the page will be called in your navigation bar. So if we go look at this, these are the tabs that I'm referring to. So you can see there the About Us page that we looked at before is called About Us in the navigation. So you want to give it a tab title. You want to keep your tab title nice and short. Next, you will be able to give the page a heading. Now, I'll just point out I'm working on the left column. You can also work on the right column. 90% of the time these days, with seeing as websites are mobile friendly and they're responsive, and you don't really have a left and right column on a mobile phone, our clients tend to just work in the left column. But we will be working in the right column a little bit, so I'll show you how to, we'll get to that in a little bit. But I'm going to work in the left column, and what I mean by left column, if I go to a page such as the About Us page, this is the left column and this is the right column. The right column has a contact form in it. The left column is where my text is. So that's what I'm referring to when I mention left and right column. But I'll focus on the next field, heading. Here I'll elaborate a bit. I'll say this is a test page. You can see I'm using a little bit more, a little bit more of a descriptive heading, whereas this is nice and short. The reason why you want to do that is because this main heading in your left column, so this heading here, actually is one of the most important headings on your page. Like, that's the main heading that Google is going to look at to determine what this page is about, and it's going to assume that this is your most important information. So you, for example, what we did with Flowprint, the page is called About Us, but because we know no one ever searches for About Us when they're looking for a printing company, what we've done is we added a few more keywords into this title. Now you want to be sure not to just repeat keywords. It should technically be like a actual sentence, and you don't want it to be much longer than this. This is about the maximum length that you want your heading to be. So here I've got my new heading. This is a test page, and then I'm going to go to I'm going to skip over this. I'll show you how to use the images and the videos function a little bit. But what we'll do firstly is we'll paste some content. So I just have some filler content. This is not actual real text. And then I will hit publish. And so Normally when you create pages, you don't have to publish right away. You can keep working a bit, but I'm going to go through every step and publish and show you what it does on the website so that it's clear and so that we stay on the same page, no pun intended. So we'll go to the navigation module next. I just want to show you that once you create a page, there will be a new tab in the navigation. So there's my new test tab. And if I go to the website, if I click back to the home page, or if I just refresh the page, you'll see that there's my new tab. So the first thing you're probably going to want to do is move that tab to wherever you want it to show up in your site's navigation, somewhere where it makes more sense. Okay. So I'm going to just go back to the website now that I've made that change in the navigation module. I'm going to refresh, and there is my tab. If you feel a little bit lost as to what I just did here in the navigation module, make sure to check out the video tutorial for the navigation module. I go into a lot of depth on how to use that module. I'll put a link in the description of this video so that you can check out the navigation module tutorial. I'm assuming that you know that you've watched that video and that you're familiar with our navigation module. So make sure to check it out if you're not familiar with it. So we're going to go back to the test page. In fact, before we do this, before we keep working on the page, what I'm going to do, since I am working on a live site, and you might want to do this as well, I'm going to hide this tab because I don't want the public to go to it. We have, people coming to the website looking for information. I don't want them to see this page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to firstly click on the page so that I'm on it and so that I can keep working on it and I can actually see what I'm working on. And then once I'm on the page, I will go to my navigation module and just click on the ghost and then hit publish. Now the tab will be hidden from the navigation. You'll see if I refresh here, it's gone, but I'm still on the page and I can keep working. So now we can take our time and we don't have to worry about people seeing the page as we're laying it out. I'm going to click on the pencil to keep editing this page. And then the next thing that I will do is just maybe make a heading. So I will, let's break this paragraph up and let's make a heading here. Heading, okay. I made a break after the heading and then I will just highlight it, go to format, and then here I have some heading styles. Now you can choose any of these heading styles. You can see they indicate that the size will be different. You don't have to do any color styling or anything like that. Just pick one of these headings and then the system will style the page based on the style sheet that we've set up for your website. I will also recommend not to use the heading 1. I mentioned earlier that Google looks at your H1 or your heading 1. There are people that believe that if you have more than one heading 1 on your page, that can actually be detrimental to your search engine optimization. There are other people that say Google doesn't care about that anymore. I just like to play it safe. In fact, I don't think it is any use or any need to have more than one large heading on the page. So I always just go with heading 2 or any of the other heading styles. So there's my heading. I've styled it. And now if I hit publish and I go back to the page and I hit refresh, you'll see there's my heading. Now, a lot of what I'm doing now, and the reason why I'm spending a little bit more time going into a lot of depth with this video is because a lot of the functionality that I'm going to be focusing on now, such as how to create headings and how to insert images into your text, etc., a lot of that comes into play with some of our other modules. So these are sort of basic functionality that our CMS is built on. So it's useful even when you are using the blog or some of our other modules. So that's why I'll spend a bit more time showing you all the ins and outs. So you can also, for example, when styling text, you can go, let's make a call out. So I want this to look more like a quote. So you can go, there's some block formats, and here you can use block quote. And you can, for example, apply a heading style to it. So something like that. And then hit publish. You'll see what this looks like. You see it puts a little line there to indicate that this is a quote or a call out. So you can do that. You can also create links. So we'll just edit again. So you're going back and forth a lot of times when you're creating pages. So we'll make a link here. This is a link. And you just highlight the text that you want to link, click on the link icon, and then here you can specify where you want it to link to. So if you wanted to link to your Facebook page, you would just paste your Facebook page's address in there or whatever you want to do. If you are linking to another website, it's advisable to choose new window in the target. This means that if someone clicks on your link, so we'll make that link bold so it stands out. Let me just show you what I mean by that. So we'll just refresh the page again. So if someone clicks on this link, it's now going to go to Squareflo.com, but it's going to open up in a new tab. So if you focus on these tabs at the top here, you'll see that there it opens up a new tab. So the person can go to the other website that I linked to, and then once they close it, it still has your page open. The alternative would be if you don't do that, and typically if you're linking to pages on your own website, you don't want to open it up in a new window because it becomes annoying if someone's going to like 5 pages on your website and then they have 5 browser windows open. But if I change that to target none, and assuming I'm still linking away from the site to a third-party website, you'll see what happens. It just stays within this browser window. So if I click this as a link to Facebook, and there you can see it just stays in Facebook. Now if I close this, I lose my site. So that's why you want to always be cautious on what you set for the target. So we'll go back to Flowprint here, and we'll just go back to that test page. So other things that you can do with the Pages module, and again, this is basic functionality. You can create bulleted lists. So for example, if we were to take this paragraph, or let's make this a little bit shorter, or actually, let's go below this heading. We'll make a little bulleted list. So you could just go highlight this and then choose either bullets or numbered list. If you click on bullets, and then wherever you click enter or line break, it'll just create another bullet. So there we go, something like that. Sometimes it's a nice way to break the content up and to make it a little bit easier for people to read. So there you can see my bullets, and now you can have links within that and everything else. And to insert images is very easy, although it might not appear super intuitive. The way that our CMS works and the way that you insert images allows you a lot of control. So I'm going to add this image to my page. You'll see it's just uploading right now. And here you can now see a preview of the image. And if I click on the thumbnail, you'll see the full image. So there it's a picture of our shop from the outside. And if I go look at my text, what happens when I upload an image, you'll notice the image doesn't appear in the text editor. What our system does is it creates a little tag, and it's text-based, so it looks like this. Wherever you put that tag, so if I cut it and I put it, for example, at the start of this paragraph here, it will show the image in that spot. So if I go publish and I go back to the site and I refresh it, it should now show my image at the top of the page. There we go. So that's working. Now you might ask, how did I set the size of the image and do all that? I'll show you. So once you upload an image, regardless of the size, it will always show the original size here, and you can click remove to remove the image. If you click remove, it'll remove the tag as well. But as soon as your image is more than 1,000 pixels in size, so this image is 1,395 pixels wide, so as soon as it's more than 1,000 pixels wide or more than 1,000 pixels high, our CMS will automatically scale the image to 100%. So that 100% refers to 100% of this column width. Okay, so the left column, the image is 100% of that width. And what's nice about using percentages, if this page was viewed on a mobile phone that's really small, the image will also be 100% of the device width or the screen width. So when you're working with percentages, your pages are more responsive. If I were to, for example, set this to 1,000 pixels, it might look great on the page when I'm on my desktop or on my laptop, but when I look at that page on my phone, the image is going to get cut off because a mobile phone screen isn't 1,000 pixels wide. It's maybe only 300 pixels wide. So if you're building a responsive website, which literally all our clients are now doing, you always, always, always want to make sure that this is a percentage, okay? So if you upload an image that is exactly 1,000 pixels in size, or smaller, actually I thought this was 1,000 pixels, but it's great, it's actually smaller. This pixel is 640 pixels in size, there you can see. You notice that it by default sets it to pixels. The reason why we do that is because if you are going to upload a small image, let's say this image was only 64 pixels, for example, a small little graphic element that you want to include somewhere. We don't want to automatically set small images to 100% because it's going to look really fuzzy when it gets scaled up. So it's just something to pay attention to. When you add another image or an image and it's smaller than 1,000 pixels, just pay attention to the fact that the system will automatically set it at a pixel width. So you want to go and set it to a percentage. Now, obviously not 640%, so that would be 6.5 times larger than the column. So nice, easy math to do. And when you do have something that is under 1,000 pixels, what you can do is just remove one of the zeros. So there, that will be 64% of the column width, more or less, because our column width is around 1,000 pixels typically. So let's see what that looks like. The image will obviously sit at the bottom of the page. So I'm going to just cut this image and I'm going to put it at the top of this paragraph here. So we'll hit publish, we'll come back to it. And now we're going to see an image that was 64% of the column width instead of 100. You see there's a bunch of white space here. Well, that doesn't look good. I want to fill that space, so I have two options. I can either make the image 100% wide and see what that looks like. In this case, it might look fine, but because the image is a bit small, it might start to look a little bit blurry. So it's one of those things that you just have to go test out and check. Or you can choose one of these layout options. So if I pick left aligned, since the image is technically left aligned right now, but if you choose left aligned, the text will wrap around the image. So you don't have to do anything to the tag. You don't have to go highlight the tag and choose one of these layout options. You just pick one of these three options, either left aligned, right aligned, or center aligned. Hit publish, and then come back to the page, refresh, and the text should now wrap around. So there, that looks a lot better. I might actually set this image to just be 50% wide instead of 64. 64 is sort of an odd number. And I'm going to set it to be right aligned. That should look nice. Okay, so that's how easy it is to set your images up. One other thing I should maybe mention, if you do want to, because I showed how to create a link previously, but if you do want to link a word or something, like let's say for example this were to link to a document like a PDF or something like that, you highlight the text the same way you do if you create a normal link. You click on the link icon, and then instead of putting an address where you want it to link to, click on this file manager icon. And if you do that, you can then pick a document that you've uploaded. So I could, for example, link to this PDF document here. Or I can go and upload an additional document. Now, this text editor, this file manager that we have, we didn't build it. We're using a third-party manager. One of the downsides of it is it requires Flash. So you just have to allow it, or depending on your browser, and then a little button should show up. So let's just go have a look again. So we'll do this, and it's a little bit annoying, but that's why we'll point it out so that there's no confusion going forward. So I'm going to create a link to a document. I'm going to say upload, and now I should have my little upload button. So there's my browse button. So now I can go and browse and select another document if I want to. But in this case, I am just going to X out of this, and I'm just going to pick a PDF document that I have already uploaded. I'll select the PDF and then just click on Insert. And that will create a link to that PDF document. So that's just a question that a lot of clients will often ask is, how do I link to a document? So that shows you how to do that. Lastly, what I'm going to show you is how to link to a YouTube video. So I had this tab open the whole time. It's a video of like a screen printing machine, similar to what we use in the shop. So I'm just going to copy this URL for this YouTube video, and you can do this with Vimeo videos as well as Facebook videos. Copy the URL and then paste it into this field and click Add. You'll see it shows a preview. It shows that it's found the video and it's added it. It automatically sets the width to 100% and it adds a tag, just like it does with images. So wherever you put that tag, that's where your video will show up. So if I hit publish on this page and I go back and I hit reload, I will see my video embedded right into my content. So I don't have to send the visitor to YouTube where they could potentially get lost. I have my video playing right in my page. You can add multiple videos, you can add multiple images. There's no limit to how much content or how many images and videos you can add to a page. Just a few last things to mention. So we have this right column. You might say, well, there's a lot of space there. I want to put some text there. You can definitely do that. Go to the right column, and there you can put a heading. You can add images, videos, put more text in there, or you can choose to show some global content. So you can see there I already have by default, when you create a new page, it'll turn on the contact form, depending on which template you're using. But typically, if you got a website that was built after 2017, a Squareflo website, then it'll typically show the contact form by default every time you create a new page, which is why I'm seeing this contact form right there. If you don't want that to show up, you can turn it off. If you do want to show it and you want to also maybe show a few other things like your latest photos and your Facebook like box, you can just simply turn those elements on. Keep in mind, you can still add text and stuff and a heading for the right column. But if you now hit publish, you come back to your page and you hit reload, you'll find that there's my latest photos. And then my Facebook like box should show up, but it might be that I don't have it connected right now, or that it's being blocked by my browser. But that's how easy it is to create a page. And I apologize for that Facebook like box not showing up. We'll have to look into why that's happening right now. Once you have your page created, you can go and delete the page by clicking on the red X. That will also delete the tab from the navigation, so that's nice and easy. If you want to delete the page, there's no other way to do it. You can't go in the navigation and delete it. Okay, these red X's that show up are there because these are not pages, they're tabs that were created. And again, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, watch the video on how to use the navigation module, because in that video I show you how to create tabs. But I'll go back to the pages module and I will delete this page. So I'll just click delete and then it's gone. So hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. You can always send an email to yaku@Squareflo.com, or you can just go to Squareflo.com, click on the contact tab, and fill out the contact form. That comes right to my inbox. If you would like to receive an alert next time I post a tutorial video, please just subscribe to this channel and you will receive a notice next time there's a video. Thanks for watching and have a great day.